You're talking with MSUB softball player Nikki Tiffany. Nikki, you're a transfer this year to the team, so this is your first year in a Yellow Jacket uniform. Why don't you talk a little bit about the transition and kind of how you found your role to be on the team this year?
Transitioning was different at first. Coming from the Seattle area over to Billings was kind of, I think, the biggest transition for me. I've gone from teams to teams, so not really going to a different team was the biggest struggle for me. At first, I was shy, so it was kind of hard to get to know the girls, but kind of when I broke out of my shell, I got to know everyone, and now I'm pretty much friends with everyone, and I love our team and love everyone's attitudes and just everything with us.
Was there anyone specifically on the team that helped you make the transfer?
Someone that helped me the most, I think, would be Corey Gammon. She kind of took me under her wing when I first came in, and she kind of broke me out of her shell. And with hanging out with them a lot, I got to know a lot more people on our team and also everyone in different sports. So that kind of helped getting to know her and Bella as well. They've helped me a bunch when I first came here and getting to know everyone and kind of get the hang of everything here. So they kind of took me through the ropes.
Were you familiar at all with the GNAC?
Yeah, because over in my JC, we played a lot of the GNAC schools in our off seasons, so I knew a lot of over the Washington teams because I've played them in previous years, but I've known about it.
So this season you played against St. Martin's in Western Washington already as a designated player. Talk about your role with the team this year in the batter's box.
I would say my role is to do whatever I can to benefit our team. If there's runners on base, I look forward to just moving the runner, doing whatever I can to put them in scoring positions, or if they're in scoring positions, scoring them. And if no one's on, doing whatever I can to get on base and kind of get that momentum going. So I think that's my role, is doing whatever I need to do to benefit this team. I think our outcome of the games doesn't show how much we did. I think as a team we played so well. I mean, there was a couple games where we fell short, and I think as a team we fell short, but overall our team did very well. We meshed pretty well. Hitting, we did really good of moving runners and scoring them. We had a couple games where it went to extra innings, which is really big for us because a lot of times we kind of fall short. But I mean, I think overall in this tournament we stayed tough in every game and did our best and gave it our all. So I was really proud of how we played. I mean, I don't think the results show it, but I'm proud of our team of how we played and showed our improvement throughout the season. Yeah, our offense, I think throughout the couple games that we've had have been improving hugely because I mean, we have really great slappers that can get on, and having those slappers in the right positions in the lineup has helped us a bunch. You know, getting Corey on, and then Heather, she can either hit it or she'll dink it and then hit a home run, and then Bella does really well of moving everyone. And then when we have Cam come up, Cam can be very clutch for us, and it's just meshing really well. Everyone's, I think, found their spot in the lineup, and they know their role of every time they come up, and they're doing very good at being successful in that role.
And you seem to have also bought into that. You had a game where you had a sac fly and a home run that really helped the team. I think you tied the score both times. Why don't you talk about that, getting into the batter's box and knowing, you know, what you need to do and then being able to execute it?
I think I just try to stay calm throughout the whole thing, and I look for my pitch that I want, and if it's the first pitch, I go for it because sometimes they don't expect it, but then, you know, I try to fight it off if I can't get the one I want. But I think every time I come up, I look at where the runners are and who I have for runners and try to do the best of what I can do with the pitches I get and move them around and score them.
So this week the team returns to GNAC play. It's a big road trip. You're going to play 8 games in a span of 5 days. Talk about the team's mentality right now and as you head kind of into the back half of the season.
I think our mentality is to just go all out. I mean, the first half of our season kind of was slow, and now that things are picking up, we kind of just want to keep going with it and keep pushing on and pushing and trying to improve as much as we can. So each game, I think, we're just looking more to do better and make ourselves better every game. So I think in this road trip, we may be tired from the last weekend, but I think we're looking forward to it because we played so successfully over the last weekend, and we kind of want to bring that all together and keep going into the GNAC with it?
It was a lot of fun getting to play in California, being in warm weather, especially since the last couple weekends it's been colder for us to play in. So it's been nice to be out in warm weather and play a bunch of different teams. It's a great experience for us. So we get to play a lot of really good teams, and it's a really good exposure for us to get more experience playing teams other than just our GNAC conference.
And maybe you could comment on that. It's kind of the middle of the season, you know, in terms of the GNAC. So going out and playing some teams that you haven't seen, you know, in a year probably helps in terms of improvement. Can you comment on, you know, kind of what you learned and some of your takeaways from those 6 games?
It's definitely nice, like, playing teams you don't normally see. Like, it's refreshing because you don't play the same team 4 times in a row. It's you face them once and that's it. And so you really learn how to pick up on a team's tendencies quick. Like in the first couple innings, you don't have 3 more games to adjust to what they're doing. You have to do it really quick. And so that'll be good going back into conferences, making quick adjustments on teams in that first game and not waiting until the end of the series to adjust to a pitcher or their defense or field conditions even.
And speaking of heading back into the conference, you're going to be playing a lot of games in the next few days. Back out on the road at Central Washington and Western Oregon. Talk about some of the expectations that you have right now for the team and, you know, where the team is at.
I think we are in a relatively good place. It's just small things that we need to make adjustments on. And I think playing all those different teams this week in California is going to help us do that. Going back into GNAC, it'll be nice playing teams now that we're familiar with, and so we'll have a little bit more of a game plan going into game day. I expect us to pick up right where we left off, and we hit really well in California, so I expect our bats to stay hot, and our defense was playing really well at the end of the tournament. Our pitchers came in really strong for us, threw us a lot of outs for the defense, and got a lot of outs themselves, so I expect that to continue and carry us on through the rest of conference. Yeah, our offense is really well. We have everyone in the lineups hitting well, and you know that everyone's going to pick each other up. Like, everyone's hitting right now. We have all of our power hitters hit the ball really well. Our slappers were triple threats this weekend, so that's really well for us. And it's really comforting knowing that your entire lineup can hit, and like, it takes a lot of pressure off the defense and the pitchers for sure. Because if you know that you can score double-digit runs a game, then it makes it a little bit more fun to be out on defense, a little less stressful. Yeah, we had a lot of really good plays this weekend from the outfield and some in the infield too. And so hopefully that'll continue and we'll keep playing well together as a team, and we're starting to flow really well. And so I think that'll continue through the rest of conference as well.
All right, you know, we had a pretty good tournament at the Tournament of Champions. I know our record doesn't show it, coming back 1-5, but we played some really good games and we battled really hard. We just had one inning where we just couldn't get the last out, and other than that, I really thought our team played very well. We had a great job defensively and on the pitcher's mound, and then we came back and scored runs when needed. We had one inning where we just couldn't get the last out, and in some games it was the 8th inning, some games it was the 7th inning, and that's what we've been trying to work on this week. You know, for the Tournament of Champions, the setup was a little bit different. We did international tiebreaker right off the bat at the 8th inning, so that was something I guess we really hadn't worked on, so maybe it was just something that we weren't prepared for on our end, and it just happened really quickly. So you know, it's just got to be in a different mindset. You got to go into that 8th inning with a runner on second base looking to score them when you're on offense, and then turn right around on defense and make sure that runner on second base doesn't score. And that's just something that we've been working on as a team, and something that we will continue to work on as we go through.
And I know something you wanted to focus on before you went down was your defense. Talk a little bit about the defense right now and, you know, kind of how it's coming together.
You know, it's really taken a while for our defense just to come together, but I think that we're coming together at a good time. The Tournament of Champions is a big tournament for us, and I think it just gives us a lot of positive energy going into that tournament and making sure that we do clean up the defense, since that's something that we've been working on for quite a few weeks now. So it's just nice to see that they've been clicking and putting it all together, especially pitcher's mound and in the infield as a whole, and I know that we did have a lot of really great plays. Outfield did it exceptionally well for us. Kelsey did a great job over at third. We had some great plays over at short, and just all around really. So right now, as far as offense goes, I think they're finally starting to get comfortable with our lineup and just making sure that they are putting runners on, moving them over, and getting them in. That's just really been something we've been working on all season. And even when our bats aren't necessarily as hot as they were when Western Washington were here, we've still been focusing on that same thing, and we've still been able to produce runs, and it's been effective. These last 2 weeks have really been a quick turnaround for us. We got back late on Monday night. The players went to class Tuesday and Wednesday, and we're going to turn right back around and hit the road again on Thursday, and another almost a week-long trip. So, this is what we've been preparing for all fall and all winter long. So we knew that season was going to be long and we'd have a lot of games, and this is what we've been preparing for. So I know that the players are really excited to get back into conference play. We have a lot of rivalries, and it's just fun to be back into our normal setting with GNAC teams, and we're really looking forward to this upcoming trip.